And we are live. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. I am Omar Krieg, Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for tonight's episode 7 of Second Star, a Traveler 2300 role playing experience. I am joined by the usual crew Charles, Thurgor, Wiggles, and Zamerson. They have not yet caused me to increase the gray hair count on my head, but don't worry. I promise you, by the end of tonight's session, they'll definitely have given me at least 17 more gray hairs. Speaking of gray hairs, let's do some introductions, and we'll start with Charles. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe mention your character. I'll leave that
Uh,
last part up to you.
I am Charles. My character is Fritz Hellwig, a former German colonist police and intelligence officer who's decided to explore the cosmos because being stuck on the same colony got boring after a while. Um, yeah, that's about me. Otherwise, things since last stream.
Yeah,
Work is
it's
going
been a couple
well.
weeks.
Yeah, work's been going interestingly. It's the springtime in the region, so I'm really wishing I had more fans or air conditioning.
Yup,
Uh,
I know that feeling.
yeah. And then, holy Christ, it's almost summer.
Yeah.
God.
Yes, so for those that don't know, if you don't live in the Pacific Northwest, the idea of air conditioning being a normal thing is virtually unheard of unless the building that you're in, whether it's a residence or commercial or other, unless it was constructed sometime in the last 10 years, and even then it's still a roll of the dice. For some reason, the weather out here during the May to September, October timeframe is too nice and doesn't need air conditioning. I, on the other hand, 1,000 trillion percent, which is somewhere in the quadrillions, disagree with that ideology. Speaking of sweat, Zamerson, what you got for us? What you been up to the last couple of weeks? Maybe a little bit of refresher about your character. You know, all the things.
Well, I went to the zoo with my sister this week.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, I mean, most of the animals were fucking gone, but
Yeah.
you know.
2.5 minutes. Go ahead.
Damn it.
Go ahead. Continue.
Well, most of the animals were gone. Specifically the smaller ones. I mean, it was nice. It was the weather was good. And it's been good recently, so I don't know why they're gone. But yeah, the polar bear was gone. The otters are gone. The baboons are gone. But what was there was really close to like the edges, like where the people are. So you
Yeah.
could get a really good look at them. The elephants in particular.
Okay.
And the gorillas, they liked hanging out near the windows. But aside from that, nothing much has happened. I just downed a whole mug of coffee in the span of like 6 seconds. I mean, that's about it, though.
I'm not sure if that's impressive or not, but please continue.
It's not impressive. I'm just gonna be awake for a fucking long time tonight.
Help.
'Cause I was getting sleepy.
No worries. And I know it's a little bit later for you than it is for the rest of us. So.
Yeah. But no, other than that, yeah.
All right. Well, that takes us to Wiggles. Wiggles, what's new and exciting in your world, and maybe a little bit about your character as well.
I have stable internet again for God knows
Yay!
how long, unknown, but for now at least.
Enjoy it while you can, I suppose.
My character is George Wyatt. They are the executive officer on the Wayfinder. They are a lifelong spacer, and they worked as an independent merchant for about 40 years.
Yeah, that sounds about
Until
right.
a pirate war broke out.
No, I was saying that sounds about right. Please, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Please continue.
You're interrupting.
I am. I'm bad at it.
Until a pirate war broke out, which resulted in the loss of his ship, which is why he signed up with Flex.
Yes.
George Wyatt is joined by his wife, Alicia, who is the chief engineer on the Wayfinder. And yeah, this is what they're currently doing.
Yeah. One day we will explore the reasons for that pirate war, but today is not this day. Or that day. Whatever. That takes us to our intern, and I'm going to call him intern because he hasn't actually been able to play his own character yet, and the reason for that is because in the story, that we are telling, his character is somewhere around the planet Inferno, or maybe deep space en route to Inferno, and the crew, on the other hand, is in deep space around the gas giant Cosito. You can see this on the overlay, obviously, because I try to keep the overlays updated as far as where the crew is and what the day and year. But Thurgor, your character, will be joining the crew shortly, and by shortly, I mean hopefully by the end of the session. In the meantime, he has been filling in for another player character who, unfortunately, the player was no longer able to continue with us. He has, for the time being, assumed the mantleship of Dr. Hoffman. Please, Thurgor, tell us a little bit about yourself, what's new and exciting in your world. You don't necessarily have to share anything with your character. If you want to, by all means, but you really don't have to because we haven't had a chance to introduce them. But please.
All right. Yeah, I was going to wait till he actually got introduced to get into Joseph.
The Joseph. I'm sorry. The way you phrased that made me...
So yeah, I've been playing the CMO the last session. We'll continue the session until hopefully we get out of here and progress the story, and my actual character can join up. As far as what I've been doing, working. Here, I'm in Alaska. It's really just now spring. It's not summer yet. Things are just starting to bloom. Temperatures just starting to get decent. I feel you on the air conditioner. I actually had to bring one up here because there are a few days that it just gets too hot in the house. Maybe nice outside, but house gets too warm and you got to cool it down a little bit.
Yep, that's pretty much what happens here.
Yep, everything's going good. Ready to get started.
All right, yeah. So, just to further, I guess, elucidate on the air conditioning, at least for me in particular, my apartment is positioned such that, especially after the time change in the spring until the time change in the fall, when the sun comes up, it beams directly into my living room. And so it will sit that way until, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun's finally like overhead. And then it will then proceed to cook more or less the other side of the apartment. And so my apartment really doesn't get a good chance to cool off until late at night, by which point I'm trying to go to bed and I'm wondering why I can't fucking breathe because it's just so hot. And we all know how shitty it is to try to fall asleep when you're sweating through your bed sheets. So fans and air conditionings and things of that nature. I do have an air conditioner in my bedroom. I had a second one at one time, but the roommate took that with her. In her defense, it was her air conditioner, so I really couldn't argue. I just have to go out and get one when I have the time.
If I may offer a suggestion.
Yeah.
How about you just open all of your windows?
And, funny, you would think that would be what I would do, but the truth of the matter is, so here in where I live, that heat can get up to 80-ish degrees, so all that hot air just swarms inside, whether the windows are open or closed. Open windows means more light coming in, exactly. What Wiggles just typed in chat there. So you would think opening windows would do the trick, but there's not enough covering of shade and or a draft to counter it. The only way that's really been effective is to leave everything closed, and it can keep it more or less moderately not really tolerable versus fuck this, I hate this, I want to burn everything down.
Yeah, I mean, unlike being on the East Coast, for a lot of us over here in the Puget Sound region, you got to wait till the sun goes down to open up the windows and hope the breeze to kick in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all you're doing is letting out the cold air and letting in the hot air.
Yep.
So I live in Mojave. There's a vacant house nearby, and the motherfuckers are painting it black.
Oh, that was dumb. That was
no
dumb.
idea why. You remember the house? There's a house in Mojave. Yeah. They're painting it black in Mojave. They're like, you want people to die of heat frustration in this rental property.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I would have turned... Like, I'm all for the color black, but no. Like, just no. Don't do it. But yeah,
have you tried going to, like, one of those gift shops and buying one of those little, like handheld fans that they give out to people every now and then that you see kids
I have... So, my strategy has been strategic locations of fans throughout the apartment, and then I have the one AC unit in my bedroom. so that will keep it decent, I hope. But I do intend at some point when I have enough extra cash laying around, because right now financially things are a little tight, especially with my trip coming up. I do plan on getting a second AC unit and sticking it out in the front of the apartment, so that way between those two AC units, I can keep the apartment cool, which is what we have done in the past 2 summers. But like I said, the roommate moved out, took the AC unit. It was her unit. I can't argue. It is what it is. So
I mean, yeah, I guess. But have you tried wearing cold weather clothing? It is cold. It is for cold weather, so it might make you nice and cold.
no, it does the exact opposite.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wear cold weather clothing all the time.
Right. Moving on. Previously on Second Star. Let me find my damn notes here. All right. Previously on Second Star, the crew of the Wayfinder appeared to suffer a strange dream of an alien crew dying aboard a doomed ship, and all seemed to suffer it within the last several hours of approach to the OMS Andrew Carnegie. Dispatched to the station to determine what is happening on the station. That's an excessive use of the word station, by the way. Dispatched to determine what is happening on the station, the crew of the Wayfinder begin their clearing sweeps, only to run into numerous altered bot drones and are forced to fight for their lives in order to secure the station. A number of survivors of the station's crew are found, and a horrible tale is told of the chief engineer locking everyone away, commandeering the station's robotics, and working non-stop on some unknown project, refusing to let anyone or anything interfere with his work. On the medical deck, another survivor is found, and after some discussion, Senior Armsman Fritz Hellwig and Senior Trooper Steve McAvoy begin sweeping through the rest of the medical level, and Trooper Buford Aiello, who is part of McAvoy's fire team, bursts through a door into one section and and immediately floored for unknown reasons as Troopers Carl Spearman and Kirsty Blaine begin pulling the non-responsive trooper back for further evaluation. And we actually did conduct something of an evaluation, and I believe, while I don't remember the specifics, I know what was supposed to happen, the gist of it. Aiello, along with Blaine and Spearman, went into this section here, medical lab, and Aiello immediately basically dropped to his knees, mostly unresponsive. He was pulled out, brought back to the medical ward. He was checked out by the doctor. There were hints or suggestions of a possible, I believe we actually did use the word psychic attack. I could be wrong, but there was definitely indicators of some sort of stress-inducing headaches. Aiello was incoherently mentioning things about wanting to go home, needing to get home, and after that, Hellwig and McAvoy made it into the isolation ward, and as I recall, that particular area was basically nothing but your standard medical equipment and evaluation, but it had double airlocks in order to get in and out, for the purposes of having this particular section completely sealed off for any particular reason, really. And that is where we are at right now. But real quick, I want to remember where Wyatt is. I don't remember what Wyatt's doing. Oh, he's in the catapult control. So I think he's trying to get things up and running. We do have a few people down here in the scooter. Oh, you guys don't know about those people in the scooter base, so never mind. Don't pretend that nothing happened there. Nothing happened in the last 20 seconds.
So, yeah, Carl went into that lab, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's when he got fucked.
Well, not Carl. It was Aiello.
Aiello. Okay, just making sure.
I
I guess Carl stayed behind then.
I think is that why? I think one stayed back just to kind of keep security on it, or that, or
Carl's over here.
Yeah, Spearman's here, along with the
Aiello's
doctor.
all the way over in SR-13.
Say that one more time.
Aiello is all the way over in SR-13 on the left side of the map, actually.
Oh yeah. Okay, you guys evac'd him out. SR-13 is where basically this is Franco, for some reason upside down. And then so Franco is keeping an eye on Aiello. Aiello is over here being secured. And then this other room here, again, people upside down for some strange reason.
It was Wiggles.
I totally believe that, actually. The rest of some of the crew are in here. Oh no, this room is where the engineer is being kept for security reasons. And then the rest of the station's crew is being kept more or less in the oops. God damn it. Alright, well whatever. One of y'all figure that out.
I'll
Yeah.
just get it all done for you. Don't worry.
Yep, sorry. I'm trying to do two things at once, and I've never been good at multitasking. So yeah, long story short, engineer Berghofer has been detained. He's being kept in his quarters under close observation by the other team leader's team, whose name is totally blanking on me right now. God bless it. What is his name? I'm wanting.
Lieutenant Commander Butts.
No, that is definitely not it. Oh, Benefield. Senior Trooper Benefield. Francisco Benefield. Anyway. Alright.
So, what was my group's like objective right before we left off? Though I know we were going into that lab and then we can't now.
So I think
We
Charles
stopped
yeah,
because
go
I
ahead.
freaked out with the bad, oh no, what is this thing? And we were basically asking the XO, what's the plan? And we last my note says that we reported that we're all suffering these weird mind messing.
Oh, that's right. Because
Are we all?
Alright.
Because
Okay, so let me. I'm gonna throw out the. I'm gonna do the GM to player relay of information. So basically, first thing, when the ship was on approach to the station, whenever your character was last asleep prior to arrival, so theoretically the night before or whatever the case might be, everybody had that dream that you were basically on an alien ship with an alien crew, and that ship was steadily dying. And all you could remember was that you had information that had to get that information back home, but home was like far, far, far away. Not to be confused with Shrek, by the way. Then you came onto the station, started doing the whole thing that you did there. One of the survivors, after the big firefight, one of the survivors was like, yeah, something was brought on board, and don't know for sure if it's connected, but that's when the chief engineer, Berghofer, started getting really fixated on some project on the engineering deck, and then a day or two later, he absolutely lost his shit. Somebody went to go talk to him about what was going on. He killed that person and then went right back to work as though nothing had happened. And then the crew of the station was put on lockdown, either in their quarters or in the assembly hall. You do know that some people made it out of the assembly hall, including one that got out to go get food but was later killed. And that's when the prisoners essentially started to receive semi-regular deliveries of food from the bots. Like the bots would literally go grab food out of the mess hall or whatever and bring it over. So that way you guys weren't starving. Those people some people had left the assembly hall, like they had snuck out, broke out, whatever, made it out, but nobody knows exactly what's happened to them. But you did encounter one of those people on the medical deck who had said that they had managed to get a distress signal off, but they don't know if it was ever received. A fight started between that group of people and some bots, and so one person was killed. That's the one dead body over there, Cathcart, over in storage, I think that says, or stores. And then the other lady, she's back up in the holding area now. Where was I? Fight at the medical level. The however many other people that she was in the group with, they went back to wherever, whatever they were doing. She's hidden out. She's noticed the bots stopped moving, so she started kind of peeking around and everything. You guys found her. And then in the office, you guys found information about the Medusa. And this is the alien that was, so what they found was essentially something like an escape pod or a lifeboat or something from an alien civilization that has never been contacted by humanity before. The remains were brought aboard, and then this plant, after about 12 to 24 hours, this plant started like germinating, taking root and everything. As well as, of course, the dead alien body, basically the skeleton at this point. And that was when you guys were like, I think Charles made the Traveler version of an insight roll and was able to piece together that maybe some of this is actually connected somehow, but he doesn't know how it's connected. He just knows that there might be a connection or something like that, because he had a partial success.
Yep.
Even though Traveler doesn't really use partial successes.
I do remember this. I'm pretty sure even before we got into that room that knocked the fuck out of Aiello.
Yeah.
Were we all still wearing those masks too?
Yeah, you guys are
From
still
back then?
still full suited. So there are concerns
So
about
whatever we're dealing with goes straight through whatever we're wearing in terms of protection. So
yeah, so there was originally some concerns about contagion, but also based on some of the medical readings that Hoffman was able to get, this may not be strictly a physical contagion. It may be more of a mental, psychic sort of thing, but there's no way to validate that because, as I had mentioned to some extent in the last session, humanity, psychics, psionics, and things of that nature in the 2300 universe, humanity has a very, very, very limited and far too hypothetical understanding of that sort of thing. So this idea of something psionic is almost completely 100% foreign.
right.
Like the closest that
So-
humanity has any idea as far as psionics goes is either through some very dangerous and experimental medications, or
Random guys that just have it for no reason.
no,
probably.
not even humanity, but like maybe some of the different alien species humanity has found, but it's also not so much a legit psionics like we would understand it. It might actually be something more like how pheromones can be used to communicate between two individuals, whether animals or plants or people.
So with that all said and done, I guess I guess everybody's listening to the comms to see what the XO's got to say about this. I guess.
Yeah.
Wiggles.
I
That's where
don't
we left off,
remember.
right?
Yeah, I don't remember if Wiggles, because I know Wiggles called back to the captain, and the captain, I believe, had said something to the effect of "Proceed with caution. It's your call." Also, I want to point out that initially the ship was docked with the station,
He detached it.
and then
yeah.
after a while, like you guys were like, "Okay, the air's clean, we can breathe," and then all of a sudden there was a concern about contagion. Everybody put their helmets back on, and the ship disconnected. It is currently floating, 100 meters off the station
Yeah.
or something like that.
I remember that.
The CMO's assessment of the down trooper was that it couldn't be, logically anyway, it couldn't be anything physical, any kind of airborne organism or whatever, because the trooper was sealed up in a vac suit. So he
Right.
definitely thinks it's something else, exposure. And plus the guy was exhibiting, not really schizophrenic symptoms, but he definitely wasn't in his right mind, where he really didn't have a whole lot in the way of symptoms otherwise. So it could be radiation, it could be, like we said, something mental, psychic, whatever, that we're completely not capable of dealing with.
Yeah,
He did not think it was a physical threat.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I do recall something to the effect of physically he was fine, other than the normal stress indicators.
Yep.
But I don't think we could do a full-on brain scan, but there were other markers or indicators indicating that his brain was highly stimulated in a very specific way, but it was not necessarily a way that anything was easily understood or interpreted, whether
Right.
because not enough equipment or time, or
Yep.
just an understanding of what the hell actually happened.
I
Well,
believe
we're
he
in the
said
middle of something,
the med bay and the
can't really-
station did not have any MRI machines.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah,
we lacked higher diagnostic tools, so
Yeah.
we couldn't really determine what was wrong with his brain. We could just figure out that he didn't appear to be this being a physical malady. He didn't have a fever. He didn't have any other symptoms.
Right.
All he's doing is rambling. So it's something else that's affected his mind in some way.
Right.
So now that that's all said, then
Yeah, I think what we're looking at is figuring out what you guys want to do with with what's left of the medical deck. There are a couple other decks that need to be explored. We still need to maintain or restore. Oh my god, I cannot think, and I'm trying not to burp right into the mic. Restoring
Spur.
operations. I don't like burping into the mic. I find it rude, and people on the other side don't want to do it. Or people on the other side don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
No.
I want to hear it.
Maybe another time. Anyway, there are still some crew members that are unaccounted for as far as what you guys are tracking, like on the roster, versus the people you've actually encountered, including the dead people. Anyway, there's a lot to go through still, so I'm kind of waiting to see what you guys want to do. We have both Kirsty Blaine down here, and then we have Hellwig and McAvoy up here, looking like they're getting ready to take down the lab. The EXO is somewhere on the control level, trying to figure something out.
Well, so the
Well,
last
I'm
time,
not going anywhere near that fucking place.
yeah, I mean, we were debating whether or not to go in that space, and it was that was the cliffhanger from last
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
I think what we should do, just my suggestion, is that we should warn everyone about this spot, and then move on to someplace else. Finish
Come back
sleeping
to
the
it
rest-
later, maybe.
Yeah, come back to it later.
Okay. EXO,
See, this
Wiggles?
Yes.
I don't recall the conversation between the EXO and the captain, other than something to the effect of an update from the EXO and the captain basically saying, "Proceed with caution. It's your call," etc.
We had a personal change afterwards, where I
Oh.
told this was scary,
Right.
and then he paused for a while, and he's like, "Yeah."
Okay.
It's
So
pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. Yeah.
So after that's done taken care of, I'm gonna check on the mission time to see how much air we have left in our tanks. I think like a normal bottle is 6 hours, right? So
Yeah, I was just thinking something. I feel like your normal loadout or whatever would have anywhere between 6 and 8 hours on most average or standardized suits. And I think at this point, you guys have been on the station at least a couple of hours. So you're probably, I'll just call it 50% remaining oxygen on your current bottles.
Right. Well,
okay.
so
So
then
then
we're just
I'll,
comment real
All
quick
right,
and
so
just
hold on,
ask
Zam.
what the orders are right now.
Zam, hold on. When you guys talk, I can't hear either one. I just know you're both talking. So let me get Wiggles first. Sorry.
Wyatt will start going through the mental checklist or to start doing tank exchanges, and then he'll ask to have is Hurst and Franco both on board, or is it just one or the other?
All of the ship's troops are on the station. Because
And then
if you remember
I'll
right,
have Hurst come meet me.
uh-huh.
Yeah, they're all on board. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I'll have Hurst come meet me. I need to talk to Laeta for a bit.
Say that last part again. You want Hurst to meet you, and then what?
I need to talk to Hurst. I need
Okay.
to talk to Hurst on 101.
Okay. Shit. Where is Hurst? Is Hurst? No, she's.
And I'll
over...
have the CMO join me for this conversation as well.
Okay.
alrighty.
I don't remember where Hurst is, so give me a second here. No, she's around here somewhere. Where are you, Hurst? Oh, her. You know, it'd be really cool is if I could just type like Control. Oh, there she is. Do like Control F. All right, Hurst comes down to the command deck. The CMO is coming up, I imagine.
Yep.
I'm gonna find the CMO.
That
There he
one.
is.
Yep.
And I'll bring him over here. All right.
So I start having a. So we do a direct-to-suit connection or whatever we need in order to have this 3-way conversation. We go, okay. So how
But you wanna have this-
situation is.
Sorry, just
Oh,
to be. No, I was just gonna say, just to be clear before you get started, this conversation is strictly between the three of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This is a command conversation. I don't want to. I will give them information, but I don't want to. But this is a scary situation, and I'm worried that if I just spill the beans to everyone all at once, that may cause either
Yeah, yeah.
morality gets shot or panic, and I don't want to do that if I don't have to.
Yeah, because neither one of those
I-
sounds like pleasant ideas.
No. Anyway, so I'll talk to Hurst and I'll explain the situation. Let's understand it. There seems to be a biological hazard on the station that may be able to prevent the suits. So I'm considering switching, clearing, and breaching this, clearing the station to be volunteer efforts only. So I'm looking for input from both of you whether or not that is a wise course of action.
So the CMO says he does not think it's any kind of airborne threat. You know, people were sealed in their suits. It would take something, I don't know, almost mechanical to be able to penetrate the suit, to be able to infect, let's say, you know, a person inside. With the strange events that have occurred to this point, and he mentions the dreams, you know, that the crew members on the ship have had.
To be clear, I'm sorry, I want to interrupt just to be clear on one small detail about the dreams. Unless anybody has mentioned their own dream to another or vice versa, the fact that everybody had the same dreams, I believe, was still more or less close to chest. Like,
Okay,
I could be wrong. I think somebody did mention something, but it's not yet well known to the players, or excuse me, to the characters, that everybody had that dream. Because I know, because Hellwig and McAvoy talked about it, but McAvoy kind of blew it off as like, well, that's nothing. I'm always dying in my dreams, or something stupid like that. Not stupid, but you know what I mean.
But the Doctor himself has had that dream.
Correct. Yeah, everybody did have that dream.
So, you know, he's trying to put stuff together. You know, he had not necessarily the exact dream that the down trooper had or anything, but he can definitely notice some similarities in that. The fact that it happened from such a huge distance away is alarming.
Yeah.
You had this dream, doctor. You had this dream, doctor.
He said, "I did."
I had a nightmare too. I thought it was just, you know, stress. This is a stressful situation we headed into. I had a similar dream as well.
Hurst is going to kind of cut in just for a quick second and say something to the effect of, "Wait, ship evacuation, jellyfish things? Tell me I'm not the only one that had that dream. Tell me I'd rather be the only one that I'd rather be the only one that had that dream rather."
I mean, my dream had a lot of fear of having to escape a ship. I was not human. I thought I was just, you know, I thought I had some bad chocolate and I watched a horror movie or something like that.
I'm laughing at the chocolate thing because that was part of a story on the radio the other day. I'm sorry. Yeah, Hurst is like, but we had to be like 100,000 kilometers away at least.
The Doctor nods.
Look, there's civilians on the station. We gotta clear the station. But there's obviously an unknown danger here that's penetrating our vac suits. So I think I got to turn it over to volunteer effort only.
But where would you put... I'm sorry, go ahead, Doctor.
The doc says that's fine, but I'm not sure exactly that it's a danger. I don't think it's a weapon. If so, it's a really bad one. I think it's something else.
You put that trooper on discharge. He's not on active duty. I mean...
Well, that's because he's not himself right now. He doesn't need to be wielding a weapon and all that kind of stuff.
I think Aiello
is... He gets better. He needs to be, you know, watched and kept away from weapons. I think because we don't know what effect this has had on his mind, and maybe it wasn't supposed to have this kind of effect on his mind if it came from this alien source.
Wait, there's an actual source for this? You think?
Yeah. Here. Open up a data link.
Okay. Yeah. Port 2701.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and forward him the pictures of the Medusa.
Yeah, Hurst is. You can see, like, I feel like with most space helmets, you know, you've got the regular glass visor or whatever you want to call it, and then you have the polarized. And she doesn't have the polarized one on, so you can clearly see her face, and you get this like. I never assigned an actual what's the word I want to use here? Racial background to hers, but with her first name, I always kind of assumed she was probably something of African descent of some sort, somewhere along the way. So I'm thinking like her going pale is probably not necessarily the right way to express it. But anyway, you could see the facial, I'll just say markers of holy shit, the fuck is that? Oh my god. But it fades like super fast. It's there for about 3 seconds, and then she takes a quick breath. Good air in, bad air out. She doesn't actually say that, but you could see the motion or the thought pattern. And
from what the station research and from what we could tell for the CMO, this thing's old, really old,
like
and dead.
how old? And
wait,
if it's dead, how is it doing anything?
Those are excellent questions. There's an unknown hazard here, but we still need to clear this station, and I don't know the danger I'm putting your troopers at.
Well,
The CMO
So
says,
beyond clearing,
go ahead.
oh sorry, go ahead.
the CMO speaks up and says the strongest source of this at this point that we're aware of is where the trooper went down. I think we need to focus our efforts there first and then sweep the rest of the station. Otherwise,
And
this
we
thing-
looked at. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
I said,
I'm sorry.
Otherwise, this thing we know has range. So if it's in there, whatever it is, and we are busy sweeping the whole rest of the station, that just gives more time and opportunity for more people to come affected. You know, we need to end this as best as possible, as quickly as possible,
I think the
because we have
doctor.
no defense
and-
against it.
I think the doctor's right,
Yeah, and-
sir. I think.
Yeah. No.
I think with the if you look at it from a tactical perspective, I think the fact that we're inside its range band means we need to press forward. Okay, I'm not going to use the actual word assault, but if you were under fire, that's what you would do. Assault. You don't sit still.
I'm sure a lot of governments and heads would want whatever this thing to be in a usable state, but the fact is our priority is the safety for our own people, and the priority is the safety for the people who are trying to evacuate. And if that means destroying whatever is causing this, then so be it. I will take the heat for that.
I don't know if there's a thing to kill. If it's already dead, but
If there's an active presence on board, that means there must be something there to actively do it. And if we can't turn it off, then we need to destroy it or put it off station. I don't know. Honestly, this is beyond anything I've ever dealt with.
I got you, XO. Mac-
Beyond what's inside the station, we noticed that the robots were also doing a lot of exterior work on the outside of the station. There's a particular hot spot where the crazed engineer was sending a lot of robots to, and that's probably also worth taking a look at.
Well, I'm no engineer. I think your wife would be a better one for that one. If you need something blown up, I know just the person to do. But if you need something fixed, he is not the person to do it.
No, I'll probably accompany. Yeah, I'll talk to the EO and I'll probably accompany there. Also, we need to start doing tank exchanges. Where mission clock's around like 3 hours or so, so we're about 50%. We should start doing tank exchanges.
I think, yeah, she'll say something to the effect of that she's monitoring the situation with her troops, and then almost in that same breath, you can hear the click of her kicking over to her troopers frequency, and she's like, McAvoy, where are you?
I'm right outside of the laboratory. Over.
Where's your people?
Waiting for orders.
I'm going to confirm this with.
What did you say?
I'm going to confirm this with the XO in just a moment. Stand by for assault.
Okay, out of character. What? Assault? Is that what you said?
Yes, assault. Stand by for assault. As in, be prepared to assault in the next minute or two.
You get
copy
to
that.
do your thing.
Yeah.
Assault what? There was nothing in the fucking room.
Are you sure?
I mean, we
never. Nobody. So here's.
checked the room a little
So
bit.
here's what happened. And I'm just gonna move Blaine here. So basically, they went in. Aiello's like, my head, it hurts. And then Blaine and the other guy pulled him out, and they've been pretty much sitting here. You guys were over here at the time, and you worked your way over this way, and then finally down to here. So whatever's actually
I guess I'll just,
in the lab, nobody knows for sure. That may have been an over
let me just see how much blood I got here,
dramatized.
Kirsty. Kirsty's in M5. I'm in M7. I have Hellwig here.
All right.
Me and Hellwig are in M7. Kirsty's in M5. We are ready to go in.
So the
Alright.
doctor says,
Stand by 1 moment. Let me see what the XO wants to do.
okay,
And then the Hearst. Wow. And then Hearst kicks back over to your guys' little group, and she says, "XO, it's your call. My men are ready."
Yeah, no, we need to do it regardless.
And then before she actually gives the go, because she kind of looks at the doctor, who looks like he's chomping at the bit to say something.
mhm.
CMO, what do you got?
If this is a mechanical artifact, a piece of machinery that they brought on board here from that pod, that's pretty much a gimme, disable it.
Yes.
If it's something else, destroying it when they're obviously so advanced and we could learn from them, that's a huge step.
Fuck it.
I was just thinking
I
something
mean-
similar. I want to wait for these two to say something before I cut in with Hearst.
I mean, I understand that. I mean, like, what? It's been like a couple decades since the last time humans met a new alien species. But whatever this thing is has ruined this station. It's already taken out one of our team
Sam,
members.
calm
We
down.
can't risk it any further. It would be great if we had the resources available to us to do that kind of mission, but we don't.
Hearst will jump in and say something to the effect of, she hasn't kicked off the assault order yet, but she can order to disable or incapacitate as opposed to destruction and death.
I'll leave it up to you, Hurst. You're in the same boat I am. You have as much information as I do. These are your troopers. Any decision you decide to make, I will back up 100%.
Well, and Hearst kind of looks at you with a kind of a semi-sarcastic smirk. She's like, "Well, XO, to be totally honest, you might go down, but if you're going down, I'm probably gonna go down with you. So, I guess if anything else, we can make sure our story's straight." And then she will kick over to Zamerson McAvoy, and she says, "McAvoy, Hearst." She's calling you on the radio.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yep.
Yes.
Listen very carefully. Your orders are to assault on my command. You are to disable or incapacitate, if possible. Death and destruction is a last resort. Is that clear?
Roger that.
Ex-
He's gonna comment really, really briefly over to Carl real quick because he's up, right?
Yeah, Carl's up. You can bring him over too, if you want to send him
Carl,
over.
Carl, go to surgery M5. Make sure you drag Kirsty out if anything happens. And he's gonna look over at Hellwig. Hellwig, you do the same for me. Got it.
Yeah.
You stay in here. All right.
McAvoy, are you ready?
Yep. Ready as I'll ever be.
Execute.
All right, we're gonna breach through. I guess we're just gonna open the doors. I
Yeah.
don't know how else we're gonna do. I don't want to use explosives because the
Yeah,
ship-
no,
the ship's
no.
probably-
All the doors are open, or at least local access or local input, so you can open the doors. Whether they slide open, you need to push a button, you turn the doorknob, whatever it is, you open it. Tell me how you're going to enter this room with your team.
All right. Well, again, Carl and Hellwig I want them to stay outside of the room so that if something happens to us, they can try to drag us out.
All right,
Go
go ahead and move him in.
Aiello.
Yep, go ahead and move him in.
All right, here we go. We're walking in the room. I'm gonna sit. We're walking in the room.
All
I
right,
don't really know the specific commands.
It's
I'm just
fine, it's
doing
fine.
what I can here.
I need you to roll 1d6 for both of you. For you and
1d6.
Blaine, 1d6 each.
So I could just roll 2 then, I guess, huh?
If you want to
What
roll
the
two,
fuck?
if you want to
Who
roll.
flipped my goddamn thing.
Well, if you guys weren't
Damn it.
playing grab ass with the dice rollers earlier.
It wasn't me.
Okay, R. Kelly, calm down.
What?
Okay, all right. So listen. One of you rolled a 3. One of you rolled a 4. Which one of you rolled the 4?
Kirsty.
Okay. Immediately upon entering, Kirsty also is incapacitated with what will eventually come to be severe headaches and a powerful longing to go home. But for the moment, she basically
Okay.
drops to the floor, eyes rolling up, not necessarily screaming, but the obvious sounds one would make when they're in a lot of pain. Who is that you're grabbing there?
Right.
That was me. I was moving
Oh,
myself
sorry.
back to
Yep,
that
my
med,
bad.
that med bay.
The
was
CFO
one
said,
little fucking
the doctor's like, all right, XO, troop commander, I must go. My people need me. I forgot which color was which, so I thought that was Zamerson grabbing the wrong piece. All right, Zam, Blaine goes down in front of you. Well, not necessarily in front of you. The room is kind of dark, so you could see. I imagine these visors would have some sort of low light adaptation, or not adaptation, but like if the light goes low, you start picking up more night vision view, and you could see
Right.
her. She doesn't like fall like she tripped or stumbled over anything, but she almost within like 2 paces of getting inside, she goes down.
She kind of just ragdolls, doesn't she?
Yeah, pretty much. Spearman immediately grabs grabs her. I need you to roll another 1d6.
Another 1d6. Got it. Boop. Blomp. It's a 1. It's a 1d6.
Carl goes down too.
Stupid ass.
So
Oh, man.
so-
this is
so-
what, is this
so
like
Blaine-
an impossible check, I guess.
no, it's a 50% check. You're just rolling it over the limit. So basically, Blaine goes in. Spearman's backing her up. Jesus Christ. What's her name goes in. She goes down. Carl's like, oh shit. He runs in to grab her because like in the military, our body armor had like grab straps or whatever the hell you want to call it on the backs of our backs. So he's like getting ready to go in there and reach for her, grab it to pull her out. But as soon as he like just barely he doesn't even make actual contact with her vac suit. All of a sudden he basically collapses ragdoll sack of potatoes, just like she does.
Am I out yet?
No, you are not yet. Would you like to roll to see if you do go down?
I don't mean, was it gonna happen regardless? Like, I don't.
Not yet. So basically what happens is you get about 2 or 3 steps in, you don't even get a chance to really register what's in the room, except I will point this out. The room is dark, not pitch black, but it's just dark because there's no light. So there's light coming in from the doorway behind you and the doorway that the other two were going through. You see in the room your typical lab setup, some countertops, there's cabinets and storage areas for various things. There's probably some like different equipment laying about, just waiting to be used that no one's ever gotten into. And by about that point, you notice 2 things. One, there's a big, about 3 to 4 foot tall plant growing. Not like growing in the moment, but like this plant that's
No, I get it.
that's
It's-
right
yeah,
in the
no,
middle of
giant
one of the this big old plant in the middle of the room, and there goes Spearman, or excuse me, not Spearman, Blaine. And then about 2 seconds later,
Yeah.
Carl goes in to reach for her. Carl goes
Right.
down.
Okay, so I see a giant plant, and is that outside of the giant plant? Is that the only unusual thing that I can see in the brief time that I walk in?
Yeah, again, low light vision starts to kick in on your visor within like half a second.
Is
This
there a
plant,
flashlight, maybe?
if you turn a flashlight on, you'll go like your visor will just like low light vision itself. It's light
What's-
sensitive,
what's
I
the
guess.
difference?
The visor's light sensitive.
Okay, wait. So what would be better in a darker environment then? Light vision or just flashlight?
It's your choice. I mean,
wonder.
it.
Okay,
It
I
might
was
be
thinking
better-
light vision 'cause I don't
like,
know.
tactically?
I'm unusual to this game at the moment.
Well, I was gonna say tactically, not that there's anybody that you know of gonna jump out from behind a corner at you, but like tactically, it'd be better to go without the flashlight. But they
Yeah,
are.
there's
I mean,
nobody in here.
and if there were, they actually would know you're already there anyway. So it's kind of a moot point. But
You know what? That's a good point. Again, I'm just trying to think about how things go in this game. Again, I have been in so few Traveler games because they're always kind of fucking canceling. But
well, ironic
I-
that we're gonna be canceling this. I'm totally
Yeah, I
joking. I'm
know.
totally joking. We're not canceling. We're not canceling.
listen, Okay. Listen, with that kind of logic in mind, I guess if it's harder for me, if it's still kind of difficult for me to see, even with the darker the vision with my thing, I'm gonna pop the flashlight on and try to see if I could just very briefly, quickly scan around, see if there's anything else unusual, and then try to
Cancel
the
Craig.
plants,
Shut up, Wiggles.
I guess.
Yeah,
Cancel
so what you do see when you pop the light on is it looks like it might be actually a little either foggy, misty, smoky, but it's not. Now I want to be clear. It is not thick. It doesn't really obstruct your vision. It's just enough that you know it's there. Does that make sense so far?
Right. No, yeah, it's like a mist almost.
Right.
Like a very light mist. I
Right,
get it.
right. And then also the plant that you're looking at isn't green or any other colors you would normally expect a plant from Earth to be. Or even perhaps some plants that you know from other planets. Jesus, that was hard. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. We all know McAvoy knows shit all about gardening, about botany, about vegetation. He knows that some vegetables can be eaten, but they taste like ass unless you mix them with meat.
Exactly.
So this plant, however, regardless of all that, is very clearly not one that he would ever be able to recognize. And I mean, like, absolutely never. It is
no carrot. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. It is. So there's a large central stalk, probably a couple inches in diameter. And at various points along the length of that stalk, various leaves pop out. And the only way I can describe it, other than there's actually a picture, but I don't really want to use that picture, so I'm making some shit up on the fly. If you imagine a leaf or a frond, roughly the size of your hand, but in that typical frondy, diamondy shape, right?
No, I get it. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
And in the center of that is this white puff with petals, with like rosy petals on it. And I'm trying, like, the closest thing I can think of is something like a pussy willow or a dandelion, or maybe slap the two together and put it on
like
a single
a baby's breath, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I have a fairly decent idea what that might be.
Oh, you don't know? Damn. Okay. Well,
I think we got a general idea. This is very clearly not a human known
is it in
plant.
a pot?
There is a pot plant holder container sort of thing that is there. It's not your obvious clay pot.
I'm gonna instantly tell Hellwig. Well, I'm just gonna comment to everybody that can hear, I guess. Kirsty's down. Carl went down. Nothing in the room except a giant plant. It's very it's misty as hell in here.
Noted giant plant. Extract. Report the mist. Report the giant plant. We might need to fire it.
Extract.
The CMO starts heading that way to deal with those that have gone down.
And good luck. I'd advise against that.
I mean,
Carl
they're
went
right
down
here.
the second he went in, same as Kirsty.
Well,
You drag those two to the door, right?
No, they're about 3 steps in the door.
Okay.
But in order to get them, you have to go into the room to grab them, basically.
Alrighty then.
Which will, of course,
I'll go in and grab the
trigger
plant.
a roll from you as well.
He's not going to go in the room because he's the only medical officer.
You have a
Yeah,
nurse over
okay.
there. You have Chadwick.
Yeah.
You've got nursemaid Chadwick.
Nurse.
You can send Chadwick. He's got medic 3 and he's got a gun combat 1. So he was probably some sort of combat medic at some point.
Okay.
You could send him.
I'll send him.
Okay, you're gonna send Chadwick
Send
in?
the meat bag in.
The-
He's
the-
useless. Or
That's
he's
the
expendable.
he is not useless. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's not
Expendable.
killing anybody, so. but
No,
I
it's
need
just
to have my wits
incapacitating
about
him.
me. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm gonna-
Before he goes in,
Uh
I want to hit him. I want to hit him with a sedative, something that's going to
Ah.
cloud his mind,
Ooh.
and make it harder for him to think. Because this is an easy task. He's not going to be working on anybody. He's just going to be dragging bodies out. So I want to hit him with a sedative first.
Okay.
To see if
Roll.
that makes any kind of difference.
I got the doctor's character sheet. Give me half a second. Let me find it. Francis Frank Hoffman. Medical 3. Education is what's an 11? Is that +1 or +2? It's +2.
+1.
It's just a +1.
That's a plus. No, 8, 9, 10 is +1, 11, 12. Yeah, it's
that's
+2.
+2. All right, so yeah, 2d6 plus 5. You need a 10 because you're trying to get something that knocks him out but doesn't actually knock him out.
All right, I got a total of 12 then.
All right, so he is physically capable of performing the most menial of tasks, such as go there, grab them, bring them. And
Yep.
all right, now what I need you to do is roll 1d6. On a 5 or
Yeah.
6, he is going to be a casualty.
Dang it. Hang
All
on.
right, so that's not 50%. I mean,
No, it's
probably only
not.
5 or 6, but that's
Fi-
okay.
So there's a reason for that. So 4, 5, and 6 is the 50%. 5 and
He
6.
got a he got a 5.
Okay. So for the
All
record,
right.
out of 4+, they were incapacitated. He gets for the nurse, it changes to 5 because of the sedative, but it still was not enough to counter for whatever reason. Whether the psychic powers are too strong, or the medicine wasn't enough, or it just
Right.
doesn't work. It's immaterial, or it's unknown why it didn't work, but it was a good idea nonetheless.
So you just sent another poor innocent man to be a chalk line on the ground, essentially, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
But
pretty
we
much.
learned
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
all
we
about
learned something.
learning.
Well,
All right, Charles, go ahead.
To approach this plant here. I want to get this thing out of here, dude.
All right, what do you want to do with it?
Well, first off, I'm gonna try to grab the pot. I'm just gonna try to fucking yoink it in the pot, I guess.
All right, roll 1d6.
A D6.
Yep.
Okay.
He said,
Grabbing
"Goof
the
it."
pot.
He said, "Goof it."
grabbing the pot. No, thank you. Please don't be a high. Come on.
Yep, you're
Okay.
incapacitated as well now.
Well, what the fuck are we supposed to do if everybody walks in and we all die?
You're not dying.
Well, I guess I'm out.
You're not dying. We gotta wait.
know when it's time to play again.
We gotta wait for Charles to come back.
I'll do a type beam to the mechanics, and I'll go, hey, I got a fun task for you two.
This is not how I envisioned our next session to be, where I'm just gonna get out of this 1 hour in. Hopefully
You're
we
not.
get this quickly.
So for the record, everybody that has been affected by whatever this is, they are initially unresponsive, headaches, etc.
We're down, dude.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, you're down. Yes.
Yeah.
Once they are removed from, for instance, this room, and they are given a little bit of time, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes to recover or what have you, they're mostly fine. And within probably 24 to 48 hours, they'll be 100% again.
Right. Well, everybody who's walked in keeps fucking dying. So I'm
Well,
sorry, incapacitating themselves. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Yeah, no. Effectively, you just got fucked up.
Yeah, I'm out of the game essentially until somebody can fucking not die instantly when they walk into the.
No, I think the
so,
Exo's got a good idea, but we got to wait for Charles to get back before we hear it.
Exo's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna walk into that room. And
No,
if he's
No,
walking-
because the Exo's smarter than that.
Yeah, he's gonna send every single fucking retard into that room, and then they're all gonna get incapacitated.
No,
That's
I
gonna
think-
happen.
I'm
I
gonna have
think
the
I-
mechanics would make a flamethrower.
Oh yeah, they're gonna flamethrower the whole fucking room while we're in it. Is that what I'm hearing? Well, I guess
No,
I'll go and write up a new
no,
character
no,
sheet real
no,
quick.
no. He's not gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh no, of course not. Yeah. Fucking. I'm dumb. My bad. Okay. Well, let me know when something happens. I guess
Oh.
I'm out of the game. I guess for now.
Actually, here's what we will do. We do have one player on a brief restroom break, so let's go ahead and take our 5 to 10 minute break, and when we come back, we will have Hellwig figure out what he's going to do in his situation. The CMO's got to figure out what he's going to do in this situation, and the XO has an idea, which will result probably in a small conversation with an engineer or somebody of that sort. So we'll come back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see what more we can figure out. Back in a few minutes, my friends.